Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th Canto, Chapter 70, text number 6. Ata Pluto, Ambasi, Amale, Yatavidi, Kriya, Kalapam, Paridaya, Vasasi, Chakara, Sanya, Upagamadi, Satamo, Bhutanalo, Brahma, Jajapa, Vagyata, Ata Plutom Visyamale Yatabidi, Kriya Kalapam Paridaya Vasasi, Chakara Sandyo Pagamadi Sattamo, Uttanalo Brahma Jajapa Vagyata, Ata Plutom Visyamale Yatavidi, Kriya Kalapam Paridaya Vasasi, Chakara Sandyo Pagagmadi Sattamo, Uttanalo Brahma Jajapa Vagyata, Uttanalo Brahma Jagapa Vagyata, Ata Putom Visi Yamale Yatavidi, Kriya Kalapam Paridaya Vasasi, Chakara Sanjo Pagamadi Sattamo, Uttanalo Brahma Jajapa Vagyata. Ladies, anyone else? Ata Platom Vasyamale Yatavidi, Kriya Kalapam Paridaya Vasasi, Chakara Sanyo Pagamadi Sattamo, Uttanalo Brahma Jajapa Vagyata. Ladies or not, you want to try? All alone? Tapalo Ambasyamale Yatavadi, Kriya Kalapam Paridaya Vasasi, Chakara Sanjo Pagamadi Sattamo, Uttanalo Brahma Jajapa Vagyata. Ata, then, Apluta, having bathed, Ambasi, in water, Amale, pure, Yatavidi, according to Vedic rules, kriya of rituals, kalapam, the entire sequence, paridaya, after dressing, vasasi, in lower and upper garments, chakara, he executed, sandhya upagama, worship at dawn, adi, and so on. Sattama, the most saintly of personalities. Huta, having offered oblations. Amala, to the sacred fire. Brahma, the mantra of the Vedas, namely Gayatri. Jajapa, he chanted quietly. Vak, speech. Yata, controlling. Translation, this is again 10th Canto, chapter 70, text number 6. That most saintly of persons would then bathe in sanctified water, dress himself in lower and upper garments, and perform the entire sequence of prescribed rituals, beginning with worship at dawn. After offering oblations into the sacred fire, Lord Krishna would silently chant the Gayatri mantra. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Srila Sridhar Swami points out that since Lord Krishna was in the disciplic succession from Kanva Muni, he offered oblations to the fire before sunrise. Then he chanted the Gayatri mantra. Om Gyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chaksuramilitanyena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swa Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sajajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahita Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Cha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swamini Iti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desa Tarane Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swamini Iti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desa Tarane Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Iti Namane Namaste Gauravani Shrimurtaye Dinatarane Rupanuga Viruddha Apasiddhanta Dvanta Harine Namo Gaur Kishoraya Satchit Vairagya Murtaye Vipralambara Sambodhe Padambujaya Te Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchit Ananda Namane Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Gaura Virbhave Bhumestvam Nirdesta Sajjana Priya Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Jagannataya Te Namaha Namo Vanchakalpa Turubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnave Bhyo Namaha Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namani Gora Trishe Namah Panchatatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Sarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakti Shaktikam. Hey Krishna, Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate, Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. Jayatam Sudato Pangor Mama Mandir Matergati Matsarvasya Padambo Jo Shishi Radha Madana Mohano Divyad Kalpa Drumado Shimad Radha Singhasanas Shishi Radha Shila Govinda Devo Prestalibi Sevyamano Smarami Vamsi Vita Tatastitaha Karshan Veno Sanar Gopir Gopinatha Striye Stunaha Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavanishari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Langayate Girim Tat Kripa Tamaham Bande Shri Gurun Dinatarane Krishna Tvadiya Padapankaja Panjarantam Ajaiva Me Visatu Manasaraja Hansan Prana Prayama Samaye Kapavata Pito Kandavaro Dhanavido Smaranam Kutaste. Should be chanting the names of all the devotees also to get to mercy. We need mercy. So we're trying to connect with the parampara, back to Krishna. And he was just, we were trying to define who is the deliverer. Because some people are saying only this or that. So there was one sloka by Bhaktivedanta Thakur in one song, and he was saying Lord Chaitanya delivers everyone. Then he listed off how all the different acharyas help in different ways. Somebody's giving this, somebody's doing that. I can't remember all the details, but it's a very nice verse from one of the songs in the Gitavali, I think. So thank you all for being here, and please pray that Krishna will use me to speak something worthwhile. And everybody out in internet land and radio land and whatever other ways you may be tuning in. Special mercy now that we can attend Bhagavatam classes at any time live or at any time recorded any other time. You can listen to them all night. It's a special mercy of the Kaliyuga, this technology which Krishna, when Mayadanava first offered, Krishna said, no, we don't want. Because it's not created, the creators of it are, and it's used mostly for the grossest types of sense gratification, the internet. Gambling and then pornography are the main uses of it. Although there's so much on it, and so much false information, so many things. But devotees are purifying all these things. We're using everything in Krishna's service. We just have to be careful not to become too fascinated by the things and getting more and more of them. But whatever we do have, we use it for Krishna. We have a certain amount of opulence, maybe money, some of us. We have maybe some intelligence, some physical strength, some energy, something. Use it for Krishna. Some attractive feature that we have, that would attract people, then use it to tell people about Krishna. That's all. Whatever Krishna gave us, that's perfect for us. We don't have to wait till we get another body or more technology or something, more money. Usually we think if I had money, then I can really preach. Because big preaching projects do require a lot of money. But none of them started with a lot of money. Started small, right? Like most businesses. Like Mr. Steve Jobs, who helps us to broadcast and helps us to record and to be able to read clearly, because we can make the fonts very big. And, he got that idea when, after he dropped out of college and he took a calligraphy class, and then he got the idea for movable fonts and putting all kinds of fancy fonts on the computer. So he said that Krishna helped him. Everything that went wrong in his life, apparently wrong, was a big boon, actually. He mentioned that. So we're here by the mercy of Lord Nityananda, especially, because Balaram is the original guru, the first expansion of Krishna, that from him everything else is coming. And Nityananda is Balaram. I was just remember when Prabhupada gave me the name Kavichandra, he said, and at that time, like I said, we didn't have Chaitanya Charitamrita. We knew Lord Nityananda a little bit. He said Kavichandra was a great devotee of Lord Nityananda. So I was thinking, I have to do Sankirtan. I better do Sankirtan then, if I'm supposed to be connected to Lord Nityananda. And we need his mercy to do anything, but especially to do Sankirtan, because he's so merciful. I just was listening to the Jagai Madai, and it's always new and fresh. So his Madai was the one who hit Lord Nityananda. And then he was going to hit him again, but Jagai stopped him. And he said, why do you want to hit this saintly person? What good will it do you? This is not, you shouldn't do this. And he stopped. But Lord Nityananda was bleeding, and the devotees all called Lord Chaitanya, and he came running with it. He said he gathered an army of his disciples. And when he saw the blood, it was all over Lord Nityananda. It was not just a little drip, it was flowing. And he got so angry, he called Chakra, and he was going to kill Madai. And Lord Nityananda stopped him and said, no, this Jagai, he stopped him. He was going to hit me, and he stopped him. He should benedict him. So when Lord Chaitanya heard that Jagai had protected Lord Nityananda, he embraced him. And he thanked him, and he said, I give you Krishna Prema. You're freed. As long as you don't do any more sinful activities, you're freed of all previous sinful reactions. So Jagai was, overwhelmed with ecstasy and fell flat at the feet of Lord Chaitanya. And then Madai said, what about me? Why you're not giving me your mercy? And he said, in previous incarnations you were liberating all these demons who were shooting arrows at you and everything. Why not me? How can you be discriminating that you're giving the mercy to Jagai but not me? And he said, your sin is much worse, your offense is much worse than any of those demons and any of the past incarnations, or anyone that ever, because you offended Lord Nityananda. So I can't help you. And he was crying. He said, you have to go to Lord Nityananda. So he prayed to Lord Nityananda, and Nityananda immediately embraced him and forgave him everything and gave him the prema. So we know the story, but it's always, something new comes up. But Lord Nityananda is a very special character, and we need to catch hold of his lotus feet. They're Koti Chanda Sushitala, right? Like millions of moons. Nitai Pada Kamala, Koti Chanda Sushitala. We had to get they're cooling. There's a blazing fire. Like at night the moon is cool. The sun is hot, right? We really noticed that at the Govardhan village. As soon as the sun went down, the temperature dropped 10 degrees. Just instantly. And, it's so cold. Somewhere putting on jackets, 26 degrees. I was in Sweden one summer, And it was the hottest day of the year. It was 26 degrees. And we went swimming. They have a lake there. And Jayapataka Maharaj was in the lake. And there was another Swedish devotee who had a similar body. I said, "How's the water?" He said, "It's fine, come in." And I jumped in and I almost got paralyzed. I could hardly move my arms. The water was so cold to get out, but very refreshing, because the water never warmed up. The sun shines, but the hottest day. So it's all relative. Krishna talks about dualities, and it's all relative. I like this, I don't like that. If I get this, I'm happy. If I lose that, I'm happy. And if I lose this, I'm not happy. If I get, it's all hankering and lamenting for different things, the dualities. So, the Bhagavad Gita, we hear that, yesham twantagatam papam, freed from the dualities, many, many times, equal in, all the different dualities. There's long lists, especially in chapter 12, but many places, long list of, being equal, starting with happiness and distress. But what is our happiness and distress in the material world? Sukhi dukkhi, what is it based on? It's just based on getting something and not getting something else. Okay, I got cold, now I got air conditioned, so now I'm happy. But then we don't have that problem here, but in Japan we have extreme seasons. Kind of. Not quite like some places, but... So every spring, all the newest air conditioner models are on display everywhere. This one is much better than last year's one. Quieter, it has positive, negative ions, or some new feature, And then every fall, all the newest heaters are on display. And it just goes... The same thing with clothes. The winter clothes come, new fashion. The old winter clothes are no good. You have to get these. The advertising. I just read an article by one of my favorite writers, Chaitanya Chandra. What is it, Chaitanya Charan? And I guess it was a new Bhaktivedanta. And he was talking about emotions, and then he was talking about advertising, and how previously there wasn't advertising very much. Not like now, I mentioned yesterday. In Bombay it's very prominent. There's one nice thing, one of the nice things at Govardhan, there's no just a few advertisements for the Vrindavan forest or something, But not, even Stockholm, Sweden, they don't allow any advertisement. There's no signboards or anything. It really makes a difference, One city in South America too, they just got so tick and tired of it. Couldn't see anything except advertisement. So they just banned them all, and people become very happy. And business is going on, doesn't make any difference. Only the advertising business is suffering, but the advertising people, they realized it, and not the advertising people, but the manufacturing people at one point, they realized that we can't survive on need alone. So they invented advertising to convince you that you need the new model, that you need this thing which never existed before, but now you can't live without it. And you have to buy it with thing you don't need with money you don't have. So we want to advertise also. Prabhupada mentioned that many times. We want to attract attention. We want people to remember Krishna. We want to and we have good advertising. Our Nuttama Prabhu, he was just at a big, international religious, whatever it's called, the same one that famous Indian Swami went to. It's a big conference. And people were telling him, "You Hare Krishnas, it's great. Everywhere you go, you're advertising." We wish we were like that, from all the different religions. And some devotees in London, they were studying advertising in school. So they were saying in advertising you need color, and you need motion, and you need sound, and you need this, and you need different things you have to have. And then he said, "Watch this," and he put on a movie of the Harinama Sankirtan. He said, "This has everything. This has everything you need for advertising. You got the sound, you got the color, you got the something weird, you got like everything you need is right there. So we need to promote that. We need to tell people about Krishna. So here we're talking about Krishna's morning program. He lived as a perfect householder. So there's much more. He said the Gayatri mantra, and I don't know which verse it is, but it says he meditated on himself. And then Prabhupada explains that because there's nothing greater than him, he's the supreme. So he meditated on himself. There's nothing. We meditate on Krishna. The first, I don't know if he's a guru exactly, but the first yoga teacher that I went to when he was teaching meditation, he was an Indian, so he knew these things. He said, Lord Krishna meditated on himself. So we should follow Lord Krishna, and we should meditate on ourselves. Soham, 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 soham. I got quite bored. I didn't like it, but this is the Mayavadi misinterpretation, how to do the same as Krishna. But they don't say you should lift Govardhan Hill. You should have a lot of girlfriends. They'll say that. Follow Lord Krishna. You should be a thief. They can say that. But they don't say you should lift Govardhan Hill or you should do all these, spectacular things that Krishna did. They don't understand. So we're very fortunate we have the purports, Bhaktivedanta purports to tell us, about Krishna. So Krishna got up early, and Prabhupada mentions, because I know from Krishna book, but even though the wives, who were the most beautiful women in the world, were saying, please don't get up. But he got up dutifully, and he did all the yagyas and all the rituals that an ordinary householder is supposed to do. It's because he says in Bhagavad Gita, I don't have to work, but I do, because if I don't work, that would ruin it, nobody else would work. So as a householder, he did, everything that the householder is supposed to do. His acharya is setting a perfect example. We have the perfect example of Krishna. Lord Chaitanya also did everything. He followed strict smarta regulations for sannyas, much to the distress of his close associates, because he wouldn't sleep on a nice bed and he would eat very much, because that was the standard that, people were looking. He didn't want to be criticized by the smartas and by all these people that don't understand the bhakti. So he set the perfect example, and he was always weak. Of course, he came as a devotee and acted like a perfect devotee. So if we imitate Lord Chaitanya and we chant Hare Krishna all the time and we dance all the time and speak Srimad Bhagavatam all the time and visit temples all the time, that's okay. So he was very merciful to show us, to show us. And he didn't claim to be the God, but he did things that only God could do. When I was first in the temple, they knew some pastimes. Somehow or other they knew some pastimes. Somebody had some Chaitanya Charitamrita or something. So they knew that time when Lord Chaitanya ate all the prasadam that everybody had been offering, and that Govinda had been stashing it and not giving it to him because it was so much. So he had the whole room full of sweets, and he ate all of it, and he drank buckets of nectar. And I remember that one devotee, Narada Muni, probably said, only God could do that. So that was his proof, his transcendental nature. I guess he did many things. When he liberated Madai showed the four-arm form. You know. But Madai and they were also very interesting characters because they came from Brahmin families. They were Madhavananda and Jagadish, and very good Brahmin families, and somehow or they by bad association, so we had to be careful about association. They started, drinking and then became even beef eaters. Prabhupada, when installation of the Gaur Nitai in Los Angeles, I don't know the year, and I was at that time, before I was a devotee, I thought that even knowing what time it was Maya. I didn't know Maya exactly, but it was material. You're not supposed to care about time and all those things. So it's very hard for me to know exactly what year things were, but maybe 1972, something like that. So they had big Gaur Nitai. It was one of the first big Gaur Nitai. And Prabhupada was very blissful. So he said, we want to enter the dancing party of Radha and Krishna. But in order to do that, we need the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. Then he said that to get the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, we had to get the mercy of Lord Nityananda. And then he said, and to get the mercy of Lord Nityananda, we have to get the mercy of Jagai and Madai. And he said, previously there was just the two, Jagai and Madai. It wasn't like, and they had never offended devotees because the drinking and crazy people that was in another part of town, Devotees didn't go there, so they didn't have a chance to defend devotees. But now, he said, everyone is Jagai and Madai. And he said, I'm not bragging, but all of my disciples were Jagai and Madai. But anyway, he gave us the Sankirtan movement. He gave us, Krishna's all-merciful incarnation, Gaur Nitai, Lord Chaitanya. And Lord Chaitanya showed us, like we heard yesterday, this year is the 500th anniversary of Lord Chaitanya going to Vrindavan. He wanted to go to Vrindavan for a long time, ever since he took sannyas. His original plan was to go to Vrindavan. From Puri, he took off for Vrindavan. And Lord Nityananda sidetracked him back to Mayapur. And then he couldn't stay in Mayapur because his mother was there, and he ended up in Puri. And then he kept trying to leave Puri to go to Vrindavan, and they'd keep saying, well, it's not a good time now, just you should wait, one more festival's coming up. And for a few years, Nityananda and Advaita especially, or Sarvabhauma, they kept tricking him, well, just stay a little bit longer. Okay. Finally he said, forget it, I'm going. So then he finally went to Vrindavan. And we know from Chaitanya Charitamrita traveling towards Vrindavan and, and getting there. So this will be the subject matter of your yatra. Lord Chaitanya's visit to Vrindavan, which is a big part of Chaitanya Charitamrita. But the devotees were afraid to let him stay there too long because he was always in so much ecstasy. He would, every time he saw the Jamuni, he would jump in and they'd get worried. And they took the boat on the Jamuni. He was dancing so much the boat was tipping over. But he showed us, go to Vrindavan, visit all these holy places, do Govardhan Parikrama. He did all those things. Many great devotees did. Krishna did, actually. After the Govardhan Puja, then all the Brijvasis, they did Govardhan Parikrama with bullock carts and, a whole festival. So Kaliyuga is special mercy because Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda appeared and they introduced the Sankirtan movement. And in Kaliyuga, the sinful reactions are minimized greatly, and the credit for pious activities is maximized. So the sages glorify Kaliyuga, and it's the people that we take birth, it means we didn't have very much intelligence to take to spiritual life in previous ages, but we get special mercy. And now things are coming up. Here you get special mercy. I was outside and I saw the big pile of ghee, and it's ghee from protected cows. You know how hard it is to get ghee, and you don't know, I guess, in America or something, And the propaganda is so strong against dairy products that they're poison, and the oil wallahs, they advertise a lot. And you can get butter, but not from protected cows. And if you do get ghee, you have to go to the Muslim shops or something. Then I saw the truck outside, the Dudh Vahan. You all know what that means, in case the people out on the internet, Dudh means milk and Vahan means carrier, right? Like Brahma has a Hamsa Vahan and different Vahans. But this is a truck, it's carrying the Dudh, the milk, all the way from Rajasthan, delivering to the temple and to the shop across the street also. And many other places, the whole truck is full, They have 2 lakhs cows at that Pathmida Goshala. And fortunately, because in India people are pious and they get a lot of donations, so therefore they can afford to sell the milk, because protecting the cow's whole life is very expensive. So otherwise the milk would cost much more. But special mercy, and the more Prabhupada said, when we had farms, he said, make ghee, sell the ghee to the restaurants in the city, sell people, give people prasadam cooked in ghee, and they'll quit eating meat. Give them really great samosas, pakoras, puris. They just can't believe it. This is how we, prasadam is a very important, way to bring people around. And devotees are seeing that more and more. Wherever we've distributed prasadam for a long time, it's having huge effects. If we can distribute the holy name, prasadam, and books all at the same time, like the temples do, or some Harinam parties do. Our Harinam parties in Bali, they go every day for the last 3 or 4 years, 5 years. And the book distributors go, and they have 10 kilos of cookies, also, or cakes, every day. People are waiting for them, to get the prasadam. And it has a big effect. So we want to distribute mercy. This is Lord Chaitanya's message throughout Chaitanya Charitamrita. You distribute. He even said, I need help. I need help. Vaisheshika Prabhu, someone asked him, what is the meaning of the Maha Mantra? You know what he said? I need help. Krishna, please engage me. I need help. Give me some service. Let me serve you. Let me have a service attitude anyway. Because doing things, it has to be an attitude of service. This is for Krishna's pleasure. You can all think about this, and if you can tell me. Someone asked me a little while back, how do we know if we're doing it for Krishna? A devotee asked me. A very dedicated devotee, long-time devotee, lifetime devotee. And I was like, I'm not, I didn't know exactly how to answer. But we'll know because Krishna will reciprocate something. This is for Krishna. Idam Krishnaya, idam namama. Right? This is for Krishna, not for me. But the problem is that the more you do it for Krishna, the more he does it for you. Right? The gopis get, 10 million times more. They don't want anything from Krishna, but he automatically, because of his nature of gratitude, he gives back much more than we give him. And he gives it back in kind. So if we really give, love and, service, he'll reciprocate with that. The demons get what they want. They get what they deserve also. Krishna fight with them, you kill them, because demon fighters, who was that 1,000-armed one? Banasura, yeah. He was complaining, this is the nature of demons. Lord Shiva gave him the benediction, what he wanted. Then he complained, there's no one, I'm too powerful now, and there's no one to good fight. Right? It's the nature of demons. They get a benediction, then they complain about it. Give me more. And it didn't work, But the devotees, even if they don't get anything, they thank Krishna. Thank you, Krishna, for not giving me anything. Like Sudama, he was thinking, Krishna is very kind, he doesn't give me anything because he knows if I got some material opulence, I'd forget him. So therefore he's very kind to me. I'm thanking Krishna for giving him nothing. Or my godbrother Pragosh Prabhu, he was a very big book distributor. And he said, Krishna always lets me do big because he knows if I didn't do big, I would quit. If I didn't get good results, I would quit. So he's very kindly helping me. A little bit humble attitude, so we get results. So the more we give Krishna, the more we get. But devotees, then they just want to give more. That's why you have to be careful. We give to Krishna, he gives back, and we have to be careful to utilize everything in Krishna's service. Whatever he gives, if it's money or popularity or fame or some ability to speak, like we say, mukam karoti vachalam pangam langayate girim tat kripa tamaham bande. By the mercy of the spiritual master, a lame man can climb mountains, a blind man can see stars in the sky, a dumb man can speak eloquently. Dumb, in that sense, usually means people that they can't speak at all, But dumb, in English, I didn't learn that dumb meant, like the deaf and dumb. We just thought dumb meant stupid. It's a dumbbell. Stupid guy. He's dumb. He can speak, but he speaks all nonsense, Speaks all madness. He's just dumb. He can't learn anything. But even someone like that, by the mercy of Lord Nityananda, can spread the message of the Bhagavad Gita, message of Srimad Bhagavatam. So anyone, no one should feel unqualified. You just depend on Krishna, like we heard yesterday about that Chaitanya Charitamrita marathon. Devotees just knew that Prabhupada wanted this. Everybody knew that, and they wanted to do it. So Krishna gave them the power to cooperate, give up their false egos, give up going to the temple even. Practically they didn't go to the temple. They slept on, just nodded out in their desk. And then they would eat there. They didn't take a break. And so they managed to do it. And another thing that was going on was the pictures. Because Prabhupada agreed you can use photographs. Because it can't make that many paintings. How many? There's so many paintings. They haven't really made new ones. That's something I lament. But, since then, very few people make Chaitanya Lila paintings. Prabhupada even said once, we have enough Radha and Krishna. I want to see pictures of how Krishna is controlling everything. I want to see not just Radha Krishna. But so they had photographs. They went, they sent Bhargava Prabhu to India to find these places which no one ever heard of before. That Ramaswami was just reading the Chaitanya Charitamrita and, trying to find out what they needed pictures of. And then Bhargava went to India, and he was traveling around trying to find these places. And that time was film. There was no digital. And telephone connections were very bad. So he had to post the film back. And that was not very fast, especially if he's in some villages and you get back to the city. And then he'd try to tell them on the phone or something, like what they're pictures of. And sometimes he wouldn't get it right. They'd have to try again, to get back to him, find him somewhere, try to find out what is this a picture of, because they didn't know. Nobody had ever been to India practically. A few have been, but just Mayapur, Vrindavan. I'm just not going to remember all these. The Chaitanya Leela places are all over the place. All over India, South India, and we have beautiful photographs. And they got them all back. Somehow they got it all together. So sometimes people ask about miracles, the Christians. You have miracles in your religion? And of course, we know everything is a miracle. It's a miracle we can get up in the morning. Especially those of us from America, that sleeping late is like, I didn't like to get up in the morning unless there's some... The only time I would get up early is when we were going to go skiing, and then we had to drive a long ways, So we'd get all excited, get up early in the morning. But otherwise, we just want to sleep, especially on school days, and we don't want to get up and we want to stay up late. That's modern society. I remember when I was working with Giriraj Swami in Juhu, and we would visit these old Birlas and those people. And in the morning they'd say, you can't talk to him now, he's in the puja. In the evening also he was in puja. Only in office hours he was available. But their sons can't talk to him in the morning, he's sleeping. Can't talk to him in the night, he's out partying. Big change. But now we want to get up early, we want to go and sing and dance. And there's many miracles that this movement is spreading all over the world. Prabhupada said, that's my miracle. That these people, they're shaving their heads, they're giving their life to Krishna, these Americans and Europeans, never heard of Krishna until very recently. Just completely take it up. It's the miracles of Lord Chaitanya. So, I think is it getting late? I don't know. Let's try. Because when you have an attentive audience, then it's easy to just go on and on and on. The birds can fly up to the limits of the sky, right? So we can speak also according to the audience. So the audience should, if the audience is very attentive, that will bring out much more. And we need mercy in order to speak, anybody. There's one Christian, one of the most popular Christian preachers in America. He has a prayer team of people that pray for him while he's speaking, to pray that he can speak nicely. I thought that's a good idea, because everything is just by the mercy of Krishna. We can't do anything. The Nectar Devotion says, whatever, even the most ordinary thing, we should be praying to Krishna, you better help me, you have to help me. Not that, well, I know how to do this, That's why it's good that the karmis say get out of your comfort zone, take some challenge, try to do something you've never done before, Otherwise you just get lackadaisical or stagnated or, just do the easy thing that it's a routine, then it's easy to do what we say mechanical chanting or mechanical reading or something. But try to Of course, if you want adventure, like people want adventure now, Kaliyuga, and they're polluting the pilgrimage places. I was just in Rishikesh. Anybody been there recently? Rishis used to go there, right? Because it was, I mean, think about how hard it would have been to get there 100 years ago, walking, right? Even if by donkey, it would have been really hard. And nobody's going to be bothering you, if you go there to do your tapasya. But now with all the highways, but the main advertisements now, 2 of them, the main ones. The yoga ones are behind. The much bigger signboards for bungee jumping and rafting and camping. And the government just banned the camps because all the young Indians are camping on the bank of the Ganga and drinking and eating meat. So the local government they closed all the camps, no more camping. But they haven't stopped the bungee jumping and the rafting and the fly across the Ganga by some cable, And they have these horrible pictures. Vrindavan, luxury apartment. One of them said, luxury apartment. And it had a picture of an Indian woman in a Western evening gown. And it said, book now, you only live once. You only have one lifetime to get this luxury enjoyment. In Vrindavan, right on the road there, So we have to, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. See no evil, hear no evil. That we have to advertise, we have to get out, we have to find whatever way we can to, give people Krishna. Just keep thinking of it. There's no limit to the ways it can be done, but everybody has their genius, and devotees are doing so many things, and we are reaching out, and it is affecting the world. When Prabhupada came to America, vegetarian was considered like some kind of insanity, more or less. Very dangerous. When I became vegetarian, my mother panicked. Keshavardi Maharaj, his mother was a nutritionist, scientist or something. She panicked even more, because she was really convinced you can't live without meat, because she was a scholar. So my mother sent me to the doctor for a checkup. And the doctor was older than her, but a friend of the family, and they did the basic blood tests and stuff. They didn't do the big, they just took a few drops, but I don't know, whatever he did, they knock on your knee and they do some, and he came to me, he said, well, you're all right. And I was like 18, 19 years old, maybe, something like that, 20, and he said, you don't eat meat? And I said, no. And he looked really bewildered. He said, maybe you can live. And the nurses were, they couldn't believe it either, that could live without meat. So that's what, Prabhupada came, but there were some most of the people he met were at the one vegetarian restaurant in New York. Now there's hundreds of vegetarian restaurants. But he started serving, really wonderful vegetarian food, and many. Now it's a huge movement, and there's so many magazines, vegetarian magazines. Somebody sent a picture from the Zurich airport magazine stand. It had 6 vegetarian magazines. So the Prabhupada started that. The animal rights. It all comes from Prabhupada and the devotees, getting out. And people saw the devotees dancing all day long in the old days, everywhere. There was nothing else to do. Didn't have any money, didn't have vehicles, didn't have anything except dancing all day and ecstasy. And they knew that, people knew they didn't eat meat, So they kind of showed that, and then they would come and get this amazing prasadam, and that's just one thing. The reincarnation, now it's practically everybody says they believe in it, whether they have it right or not, but they believe in it. It all comes from the devotees preaching and distributing Bhagavad Gitas. So many, many things. And if we really, meditation is a fashion fad everywhere. Yoga was, the yogis, I used to see some yogi would come and just do stupid things like, have a bulldozer drive over his chest or something, show how powerful he was, and it didn't look like really something you want to do. But Prabhupada came and gave the highest yoga, bhakti yoga, and mantra yoga, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. So we have all these miracles. There are so many temples, so many devotees coming, so many people coming to the temple all over the world, and so many books getting distributed. Nobody ever heard of Krishna in America. Nobody heard of it, except from Prabhupada. Even they didn't know they heard it. It came from Prabhupada. And people don't know even still. Kirtan is a big fashion. Bhakti. Of course, it's not Krishna Kirtan, but it's Kirtan. They call it Kirtan because we made it popular by advertising everywhere, singing and dancing everywhere, and being blissful, and people are attracted. They want to know what you're doing. Why are they doing that? So, keep doing it. Keep bringing people. Keep distributing books. Making more and more temples. Keep Krishna. Pray for the mercy. And keep going forward. This little girl by day had this t-shirt. It said, I walk slow, but I never walk. And then very small underneath it said backwards. Then it makes sense, I walk slow, I'm moving slowly forward, but I don't go back. So don't look back. Please don't go back to whatever you're doing before you took up Krishna consciousness. But keep moving, whether it's slow, it may seem slow. Rupa Goswami said we have to be patient. Don't be in a big hurry to get prema or baba or whatever, we think. Practice. Be happy with the practice and just keep looking ahead. Keep your eye on the road and keep your eye on the goal of Krishna. We may have to do many, many things to get there. There's many, what do they call it here, detours or diversion? When they're building a new road, and diversion, detour we call in America. Sometimes you have to take a detour. You have to wait. Like one place we go in Indonesia, now they've fixed it up better, but we had to travel across the mountain. So every time it rained, the mountain would fall on the road. And then we'd have to wait 3 or 4 hours sometimes when the bulldozers would come and clear the road. But you can't, you don't want to go back. You just wait. Sometimes there's delays. Sometimes, even if you're climbing a mountain, like Tirupati, anybody ever walk up there? Huh? Anybody who's walked up Tirupati? It's a good exercise. And, because if you just remember Krishna's at the top. But at first it's only up, and there's a few flat, and it's up, right? 7,000 steps or something. But then, once you get to the top, sometimes you're going downhill and back uphill. But you're ultimately going up, but sometimes you're going down. So don't worry that sometimes it doesn't seem like things are moving fast enough, or, we're getting a ruchi or asakti or whatever. But Krishna is telling us how to do it. Maya sakta manakparta yoga munimadaşaya. That, I will tell you how to get this asakti and how to know me in full, free from doubt. And then we have chapter 7, chapter 8, chapter 9, chapter 10, chapter 11, chapter 12, right? It's how to do it. Keep, that's how to do it, but be patient. Because at the time of death, Lord Nityananda, Lord Chaitanya, Krishna, any one of them, they'll come and take you away as long as you keep trying. As long as we keep trying, the success is guaranteed. Never, never, never. That was a famous speech. I'll end with Winston Churchill. He went to one high school or something, and he's the most famous, one of the most famous orators. And they were expecting a big, fancy speech, and he said, never, 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 never give up. That was the speech. Don't quit. Hang in there. Utsahan nischayat, and then be patient. Okay? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So I'll be leaving this afternoon for Vrindavan, so please pray that I'll be able to actually enter into Vrindavan. I heard His Holiness Radha-Damodara Swami saying the only ticket to enter into Vrindavan is humility. So therefore I haven't really been able to enter yet. But it would be a great blessing. The service mood of the Goswamis, in the mood of the gopis, that just means you'll do anything for Krishna. Never thinking, well, I don't want to do that, I want to do this. Whatever Krishna wants, you just do it. Just do it. That's a very good motto. I think Mahatma Prabhu wrote a whole big article on that. Just do it. Until we decide, I'm going to do it, then we don't say, I'll try, I'll do my best, I will do it. Then we do it. When we're determined, I will do it. Just do it. It's advertised everywhere, right? Just do it. Don't hesitate. That's Prabhupada told devotees. We don't know how to do that. We never. He said, just Krishna will help you. And Krishna helped, and so we see what happened. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. It's late, I think. I can't see the clock. What? 9:20, so that's 1 hour. Hare Krishna. Gauranga.